What's up, guys? I'm here with the newest YCS champion. Would you like to introduce yourself?
It's City Boys on deck. What's going on?
Let's go. What'd you do this weekend?
Oh my god, I can't even believe that this just happened, but YCS in Minneapolis was insane. Like, I had like 4 days of testing the new cars. Pat built the deck because he's insane. I mean, like, you know how he gets.
Yeah.
It was like 6 hours before like deck lists were due, and I was like, yo, Pat, you can't sleep on this flight. You really need to build this deck. I'm like, I need you right now. We get to Miami, and then I added to the deck list. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna rock with it. Like, crazy. Definitely the best deck in the room. This is about to be a new format in like 2 weeks for Pasadena, but like, there was nothing better than this deck. Even like a lot of people that like I played didn't even know what the new cards did, like, which was crazy because like every card, like all of the new cards that I played were like insane.
Cool. Show us what you played.
All right, bet. For tier engine, we got 3-3-3-2. This is just pretty standard, honestly. At this point, you just don't need 3 round hearts because you want to like normal summon beavers sometimes, which is kind of crazy.
What do you do with 2 beavers, Pat?
The best card
Pray.
in the deck, Fenrir, was like literally insane. Like, this card just made people play like so awkward. Like, they just didn't know how to like interact with this card. It was like the best card literally all weekend. And it was just a +1 every time. Like, how is that even a thing? Alright, so for the Nimbles, 3 Angler, 3 Beaver. Also one of the best monsters in the deck. Like, I milled 2 of these like 3 times in Top Cut, which just doesn't even seem realistic, but you know. Summon 3 Beaver is kind of crazy.
Yeah, did it ever clog for you in the tournament?
It definitely didn't clog because like the whole like extra deck is just like accessible through like level 2 monsters. So like, it was always good. For the Spright package, there was 2 blues, 1 jet, 1 red. Honestly, most of the time when I was summoning blue, it was my opponents with. So I really didn't like care for when like I had these in my hand. Yeah. But definitely need all of these. Maybe like could have cut like 1 blue for like a carrot or something, but like no.
Yeah. They never grabbed it evenly.
Evenly doesn't work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, evenly doesn't work because like card. You just Ibly and like they can't evenly you because they have a face-up card. They also can't do like Lava Golem. There's like a lot of cards. They can't Super Poly. They can't Lightning Storm. There's like so many cards that just like this gets clogged by.
How many times a match did you Ibly people?
I could do every match, but I decided based on like what I knew they were playing or what I thought like would be the best in that matchup. Sometimes it's, like this was just the nuts first tier. You summon this shit versus the tier deck. Like what do they even do? Like you just smashers their normal summon and that's game. So that shit was insane. But yeah, so 3 field spell, 3 tactics, and 3 super poly. So field spell is obvious, but these 6 cards were like the deciding factor in like almost every game where I went second. If I opened up one of these, I was pretty much ahead. This is like way better than Droplet too because half the time like you want to just like take a threat off the board while also like advancing your game state. So the card that nobody knew, 3 Grief. This card literally summons any tier from your deck, and you can send the one that you summon, so you can summon Rhinoheart and then send it to the graveyard and then special summon it by sending it a Tier Elements card from your hand, but nobody knew that. So every time I activated this, they read it, which was great because I knew I was ahead. So we got 1 Heartbeat and then 1 Scream. I milled Scream like so much, like it was crazy.
Can you tell me what Heartbeat does?
So yeah, I really can't. So Heartbeat's actually kind of crazy though. Like it's just like an out to like floods. It's also like kind of good when you're playing in the mirror and like activate field spell. There's like a lot of like utility to it, but the main part is pitching a card. Yeah, that's like really what it's like in there for. But there's been like times where like I've milled Heartbeat and like got the graveyard effect off, but milling Scream like every time you get the graveyard effect off. So
yeah.
But I sided out Scream like almost like every game I went second. Obviously, I set out 1 trap every game in 1 second. Like it just didn't make sense to have those cards in because like I just want the cards that are like more like proactive to what I'm dealing with instead of just like setting on the board. So 1 Foolish, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Terraforming, and then the 2 Spright spells. Honestly, I kind of miss playing more starters because there's a lot of times where like I was going -1 and like on an ad, which like I needed a card, but I mean. It didn't really matter because you know I won. But, so yeah, one starter and one smasher, and then 2 traps. Definitely love 2 traps. Like you cannot play 1 and 3 is too much.
All right.
All right. So we'll go on to the extra. 2 elf and the craziest card in the entire extra deck. 2 sprint. I don't know why this card's $20 because this card is insane. This card either sends Angler or Merly on your turn or your opponent's turn, which is just so crazy. Like it's just way too much of an advantage.
How often did the second one come up?
Like almost every match.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it wouldn't come up. Obviously, when you go second, like you're not summoning the second one as much. But that was also like a reason for me to want to side out the second one when I was going second. So I sided out the second one a lot, like for certain matchups, because I'm not setting up IP. Like it doesn't make sense. So IP beat cop because it's a generic link to. No, I'm just kidding. How could you not want to, like tribute to beat cop? Target Ably, we got 1 dark, and then like one of the best like going second like links in the game. This card should be banned. As Patrick said. This card was crazy. So we got the fusions. We got 3 tier fusions. You just have to play all of these.
Did you ever miss the second kick Kalos?
Never missed it.
Never.
There's just too much like versatility in like the deck. Like you really never had to like get locked into that one combo line, which is like a lot of tier decks struggle with.
Yeah.
Especially
You shuffle a deck.
yeah, exactly. Like every time. And when I don't, I'm just summoning other fusions that have a high impact in the game. Like,
Yeah.
So 1 Mud Dragon, 1 Barura, and then 1 Draco's Sibelia. All these were needed. I summoned every card in my extra deck, like at certain points in the tournament. Not every like match, but like it came up first, like the deck where I wanted it to. And then 1 Gigantic. Yeah, that really did come up with a crazy deck. I'm gonna let you know. Like 4 days of testing. Let's get it. For the side deck, honestly, like these cards were insane in matchups where I really didn't think they were going to be good in. But I sided these cards in a lot of the time for Spright because like it just presented enough board presence to where like I was like able to take over like the game like through like card advantage. Like, but honestly, I never really like had the like advantage like playing versus a tier deck with these cards, which is crazy because they're meant for the tier matchup. But I was siding them more versus Spright than tier. Like I feel like the deck like did well enough versus tier, but like if you open up like just one of these, like you're literally like blowing them out. We got 1 Pankratops. I sided this in every time I play versus Spright player. 1 Resonator, 3 Cosmic Cyclones, the only cards I had for the Flutter matchup. Oh my bad, 2 Heartbeats. And then we got 1 Abyss Dweller, because you don't need to main deck that card.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, you just summon Ably, like why do you need Dweller? Like, but yeah, that was the deck. This is like a crazy weekend. I want to shout out JNC for sure, Dragon Ink. Honestly, all the homies, everyone that's here right now. Like,
Let's go.
It was like the craziest weekend ever.
Really quickly, is there anything you would have changed about the deck?
Honestly, like I can't even say like I would take anything out of this deck. I feel like it's like pretty close to like perfect in like this format because obviously it's changing in a couple weeks. But
Yeah.
like, with like what little time there was, and like with what little knowledge I know of the whole set and like the format, like there's no way for me to be like, oh, like I would take like. I feel like everything worked like perfectly. Like it was like the ratios were insane, like the outs to everything, like it worked out way too well.
Awesome.
Did your opponent ever think that you were feeling them?
Yeah. Thought I was feeling you.
All right, and where can we see you next?
Pasadena, Germany, Costa Rica,
All of them.
Sydney.
Everywhere.
All of them. 5 rings.
Chasing the 5th.
City boys.
City boys.
City boys.
Congratulations, you got this nice prize card, nice trophy for YCS thing, Crystal Blanc. Congrats.